Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And I'm Brandon.
And today we have Brandon guesting with us for the second part of round 3 of the Multi-Topic Extravaganza, Vince.
Oh yeah, round 3. Sounds good.
So, anyway, we've got more questions, and hopefully we've got more answers. And Brandon, we compile this list of these questions that we do for the Multi-Topic Extravaganza, and I look at them when I put them on the list, but Vince and I don't actually look at them right beforehand, so we kind of do them off the cuff. So I can't guarantee that there will be anything on here you will want to answer, but hopefully so.
We'll see.
Yeah, so anyway, and feel free to come back for more of these if you want to. All right. Because these are a lot of fun. And
Part 3, say?
Yeah, possibly part 3 of round 3. We're trying to keep our terminology straight. And let's jump right into it.
Again.
For each part of these, we like to try to do about half an hour, and so we'll answer as many of these in the next half hour as we possibly can. The first set of questions comes from King 1912.
Hi, King.
And King's first question is, if you were stuck on an island and had only 5 music artists/bands that you could listen to, what artists/bands would those be? We'll throw out a few. I don't know if we'll do exactly 5 each.
Cheeseburger, White Zombie, Throw Rag, the Blues Brothers, and then Brian Setzer.
Oh, you got 5.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can do 5. Now, what's funny about this is that those are precisely the answers you always gave on your favorite music. Like, we've answered favorite music before, so we'll answer it again, but in an island scenario. So for me, it's going to be They Might Be Giants. It's going to be REM, probably. Although, come to think of it, so much of REM's music sounds the same that I could probably get away with bringing 1 CD, and it would be like bringing 5.
Oh, dear.
Same thing with White Zombie.
As much as I love them, yeah.
There's the good one, and then there's the rest.
I think Offspring would be one of them, most certainly. Who else? For the sake of variety, maybe I would bring like some big band or swing. So
oh, Cyndi Lauper. There you go.
Ah, yes, Cyndi Lauper.
Love that Cyndi Lauper. I'm kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about.
How many is that for you?
3. But big band or swing, like maybe Sinatra or maybe Bing Crosby or somebody like that. And then lastly, Weird Al. Couldn't help.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't help
Weird Al.
myself. Yeah.
Weird Al's great.
Brandon.
I'm going to answer this slightly differently because myself being a musician, I play the violin.
It's going to be a lot of classical stuff, right?
It would be a lot of classical stuff, but you have to think about groups that play classical. As a matter of fact, I would actually include myself in this. If I had to listen to someone, I'd want to have my own instrument with me and be playing my own music.
Oh, that makes sense. Sure.
So that's one thing. But I'd have to go also, I would actually have to say Weird Al too. I was thinking Weird Al, the Beatles, but then the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
They are one of the best on the planet. And I got the pleasure to hear them when they came to KC several years ago, and that was really good. That's only 4 for me. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
All right, fantastic.
Cyndi Lauper.
King also wants to know, Vince, if you've played Darksiders.
No. I would like to. It looks pretty good.
He says, based on stuff you've recommended, you probably would like it. He also wants to know.
Thanks for recommending it.
He also wants to know if you've played Infamous or Dead Space.
I tried Infamous. I thought the dialogue was tedious. I thought the characterizations were not just tedious, but highly annoying. And what's really interesting, though, is I got to the end of the first level, and it said, based on your performance, we're going to put you on the hard setting. And I said, I'm not going to play it anymore. I'm done.
I've actually played some of Infamous.
So you're like,
a little bit.
So you're like, I'm really good at this. I just don't like it that much.
Exactly. No, I was terrific. Well, actually, I was terrific at destroying things and killing bad guys. I was trying to be the good guy, but there's the powers are just so unwieldy that there's lots of collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
So,
I knew you were going to say that.
People
Exactly.
die, and you don't mean to, but it just happens.
The next question is from the Moon Knight 75, who asks, when Andrew Garfield decides to quit playing Peter Parker, should Sony introduce Ben Reilly with some explanation for why his face is different as the new Spider-Man? So they won't. That's hilarious. So they won't have to reboot in 2022, but will be able to continue with the current film continuity.
That's creative. I would say they shouldn't. I don't think they should do it. But if they did it, I wouldn't be opposed to it, at least for one movie.
I don't know if I buy the premise of the question, personally. No offense to the question, but I don't think he'll quit. but I don't think he'll quit before that franchise is done. You know what I mean? Because I don't really see it going more than 3 movies. It could, I suppose, but the chances of because like people have asked me that before too. Like you know what do you think they should do when he gets too old? And I'm like, well, he's probably not going to get too old.
Yeah.
You know, and
well,
and
not
actually,
going to keep making them.
My answer to that is let him age, because that's what Peter Parker was always about. I liked adult Peter Parker. Let him get older and get married and still make Spider-Man films. That's fine too. But anyway,
he didn't have to be in high school. Doesn't matter.
I wish I knew more on a subject like that. I really do.
Well, you're gonna hear more of those. Here we go. Nikos TZ52. Do you guys think the same heroes? This is interesting, Vince. Will still be published in 2099, and if so, how awesome would it be if they replaced Peter Parker with Miguel O'Hara in the regular Spider-Man series?
I've considered that.
I've never thought about that. The problem is you and I probably won't still be alive to see it.
Well,
you could still be alive.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Now that Marvel is owned by something that probably will never go bankrupt, I suppose that is a possibility.
Well, I think the likelihood of those characters still being published is high.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be high because people need their superheroes. And
At least right now.
I think they do now, just like when superheroes kind of formed in the first place, they needed them and they need them now. From what I've heard, there's some interesting things going on, but I do believe that they would continue to be just a mainstay in the public knowledge and right out there. They'll just keep on going. There might be a few new ones, but I think that the ones we've got now...
Yeah, the question of will, because I mean the 2099 thing is fun, but the question of will it continue to the point where we've run out of things to do with those characters, and so we have to like turn them into different characters, like with me. Are we ever going to let those characters die? Because the thing is, to let like the year 2099 become Marvel's 2099 would be to go to a totally new chapter and decide all those people are dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I see that ever happening. It's just a good question. Seems like it would almost be a light switch, wouldn't it, Vince? Like, I don't know how you could realistically slowly get it to that place, since that's not how it's been done for the last 60 or 70 years.
I mean, even so, even when they do slowly kill off characters and try to bring a little bit of differency into it, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but people resist it. I mean, Steve Rogers is alive again, Bruce Wayne's alive again, you know, Captain America, Steve Rogers. I meant to say Superman's still alive again.
We can't keep these
almost
people
said Captain
dead.
America. No, you can't keep people, even people who are
Captain Planet.
Yeah, Captain Planet will be back. I hope that's not true. But
oh no, I think you could do it. Cool.
I think you could do it, but don't these characters generally just kind of absorb the time frame that they're in? Generally speaking.
They do. Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, in 2099, they'll be this. They could have the possibility to be the same person, just in that new time frame.
That's my point, is that this is what you don't know. In the 90s, there was a series running for several Marvel characters called 2099. It was this alternate universe.
I've actually heard of that.
Futuristic thing. Okay, I didn't know if you knew that. And but the thing is, like what I don't necessarily see is, they just keep reinventing the characters for the time. So why just for the novelty of it's 2099 would they go with Miguel O'Hara? I have a hard time buying that they would do that. That's all I'm saying. Because like you said, you could just do Peter Parker in 2099.
Right.
But it might be fun if at least they change that costume. Superhero Enthusiast asks, what genre of movies would you guys like to see make a comeback, and which ones would you like to see disappear for a while? Interesting.
I would love to see a resurgence from Western movies. I feel like we're touching upon it, but I feel like, you know, it's a period piece, and you can do lots of different period pieces. Why do all period pieces have to be in the industrial era or in the or in like old England or something? But I think a Western genre could become healthy and happy again if you just pump a little money into it.
You know, I don't have as much of this with movies because I feel like most major genres still get made, even if they're not made the way we want them to be, right? Like, you know, I like more cerebral sci-fi, but that doesn't mean that we're not getting some sci-fi. You know what I mean? I've got this more for television. Honestly, I feel like we've got giant, dearths for like science fiction and other things on television right now.
We do.
Movies. I mean, there's a lot of least common denominator being made, but I'm not sure that there are very many just straight up genres that aren't being made really. So like the ones I'd like to see disappear, I think it's also kind of the same thing. I don't want to see anything disappear. I just wanted to see it done in more of an intelligent way.
You know what I'm a big fan of is
What's that?
the low budget sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more low budget sci-fi.
There's plenty of that.
There is, but I'd like to see. I don't think like the way that they used to do it is kind of different from how they're doing it. These days.
Well, the problem is everybody has access to some sort of CGI, so you just get bad CGI as opposed to like inventive ways to do
realistic,
to make
like
stuff.
realistic
That's a
looking
good point.
models too. If you get back to the root of it, like I want to see, like I'm talking like I want to see a model hanging from a string for an alien invasion.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I like.
Okay.
But the thing is, what's interesting about that though is that at this point, because the technology has gotten so much better, even just like if we were to make a movie in this basement right now, we could make stuff look better than that.
Right.
We can make stuff with the technology I have on this computer.
We have the technology.
Yes,
We can rebuild the string.
Here's the point I'm making. What you're talking about couldn't be done without it looking like a nostalgic project.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
That's what's annoying about it, right? You couldn't do it without it looking like, oh, we're just trying to call back to something.
It'd be too homage-y. It'd have too much of an homage to
That's
that.
right.
That it would degrade itself on that level. You're absolutely
Well,
right.
I'm not sure it would degrade itself. I mean, it could be really cool. It's just, you couldn't possibly make it in any other way than, oh, they just liked those kinds of movies, so they made one.
You're right.
And the reason you want to make one is precisely that reason.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't just come off that way. It would be that way.
It would be that way.
Things I'd like to see go away.
Yes.
Reality TV.
Me too.
Please.
Pretty much all of it.
Please.
Not all of it. There are things I like.
Yeah,
I'll go on record to say that.
There are things that I like about shows, like maybe 5 minutes of every reality TV show has some merit, but the rest of it, I just don't care for.
You know who does need to go away? Is that Honey Boo Boo kid.
Yeah.
Please.
The things that are making Americans... Oh my, never mind. I'm
lowering
not
the bar for all Americans.
Exactly. Lowering the bar for people like, wow, I guess all Southerners and Americans are just boorish and disgusting.
But you made a good point about TV shows, though. I think we've gotten ourselves away from the classic TV show, and I set example based solely on the theme songs for TVs. Theme songs used to be like an institution among themselves.
We've talked about that,
and it's just, it pains me to see what we've become in that area. Just there's nothing left.
And quirky sitcoms. Okay, I'm done.
CC Scorsese videos. Cap, do you ever consider getting into Walking Dead, the comic or the TV show? Yeah, but just because of peer pressure.
Pressure. Watch it.
Stop being a peer. Quit it, peer. No. Yeah, I guess I have thought about it. I'm not a big zombie person. I'm not a big horror person, so it's not something that just immediately appeals to me. But somebody gave me the first like big trade of that
compendium?
the compendium, for Christmas. So I now have like 300 pages of it. So I guess I should read it. And like the TV show is easily to watch. So yeah, it's just a matter of I just haven't gotten into it. So yeah, I will at some point, I'm sure. By the way, that's not even in frame.
Oh, whatever.
But it is reflecting off his glasses.
So, do you guys? Oh, I'm sorry. How do you guys feel about the DC crossover movie Dark Universe Guillermo del Toro is trying to put together with characters like Constantine, Zatanna, and Swamp Thing amongst the team? Well, two things about that. First of all, that's fine with me. Second of all, because it's based on Vertigo characters, it's more likely to happen than actual superheroes people have heard of.
That's weird. I don't understand that. I get it to some extent.
Isn't that true though?
Yeah. I mean, that bothers me that can get made before The Flash or Wonder Woman.
I know, and I read today that this is apparently in rumor territory, because if it's about DC and superhero movies, it is that way right now. There's talk right now that they're going to stave off a Batman reboot till 2017, and that they're doing maybe Justice League in 2015, and that they're not going to do any more superheroes probably until after they do Batman in 2017. That's ridiculous, if that's true. Where is my Flash? Where is my Wonder Woman? Why are these movies not happening?
I just feel like they're underselling their own characters. Like, nah, nobody would like that stuff. It's not like they read them in comic books or anything. It's not like anybody's ever heard of these people before.
Don't you think they're basing too much of it on the fact that Green Lantern didn't perform?
That's an entire possibility.
I
but maybe you should have chosen a character that people, like the masses, really care about.
I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I think they should have just made a better movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I was glad they made a Green Lantern movie. Look, I'm not a Green Lantern guy, and we get dogged on for dogging on Green Lantern. Lantern. I don't mean to do that. I'm not a Green Lantern fan myself. That's just a personal preference issue. But I wanted to see that movie.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see that movie too, and I ended up not liking it. But I think they had a good cast. I just think they didn't have a good script.
They didn't, in my opinion, have a good script. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that part of that is they're just basing it on. Well, we tried Green Lantern, that didn't work. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't try hard enough.
Yeah. No, there's no charm. Just because it's a character, kind of like Iron Man, just because Iron Man's a smaller character within the don't shoot me, the Marvel universe. That's not the reason that movie did well.
No,
they made a
we've
good
said
movie.
that before.
Yeah, they made a good movie.
Yeah.
There's charm to it, sure, but that's not the...
Blue Rooster Vids. Cap, but you can answer this too. In fact, you and I should talk about this for a second. But let's not spring into 20 minutes on this like we're liable to. What do you think of the Star Trek Into Darkness trailers? And by the way, he says ridiculous title, which I appreciate because I don't really care for that title.
So is Swamp Thing going to be in the Star Trek movie?
That's hilarious.
Captain, we have talked about this.
We have talked about this,
and we talked at length about the title and how it's so not what Star Trek is.
Now that doesn't mean necessarily that the movie won't be Star Trek. It's just that I guess I just don't like the idea that like now that Star Trek is, they're trying to make it more and more of a mainstream thing. They've got to follow suit with everything else and let's put dark in the title.
They're trying to bring it mainstream. They're trying to get a whole new flock of people, and they're trying to convert people.
Well, no, they've got their flock of people that movie perform.
But they want another new flock of people. They're trying.
I don't think so. I think they're pandering. But if they are pandering, they're pandering to the people they've already got, and they're trying to keep them. I don't think it's a matter of getting a new crowd. Well, they're trying to keep the crowd they got.
I was actually referring to the first movie as well as bringing in not just... Yeah. They were trying to keep us Star Trek people and bring in new Star Trek people.
That's what they were
trying
doing
to continue to hold them over. You're absolutely right. But we talked about, as far as promotional material, the poster itself is a big ripoff. I think the poster was a total ripoff of what's in right now, what's cool. You know, and as far as the trailer goes, I'm really seeing Wrath of Khan.
Oh, it's clear that's what
yeah, and
if they're not, I will be really, really surprised.
I'll be really surprised too. If it's not so heavily Wrath of Khan, I will be surprised, pleasantly surprised. I want to see more something new and less something they shouldn't mess with.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's possible you could have your cake and eat it too on this, because if Khan is the villain, then it's Khan.
Well, that's true.
And the thing is, it's seeming to a lot of people now like, and again, they could surprise us, and I would love it if they did.
Right, I would love it too.
But what it's looking more and more like now is that maybe they're even ripping off Nolan in the way that they're plotting it. In that they're refusing to come out and tell us it's Khan, and they're saying this guy has a different name, but then everything else is very Khan. Did you know, by the way, that what's her name? Kirk's ex-girlfriend from Wrath of Khan. Why can't I think of her name right now?
David's mom.
Yeah,
Carol Marcus.
Carol Marcus. She's in it.
Okay.
She's in the cast. They're doing Khan.
Okay.
Carol Marcus is in the movie. I would assume. So anyway, unless that's a red herring for some reason, I don't know why they're trying that hard. If that's the case.
I wouldn't know either.
My point is, with both Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises, they did this thing where you didn't know who the villain was until the third act. It was a character that you saw early on in the film, and then later on you find out, oh, that's actually the villain. Both with Ra's al Ghul and with Talia, they're doing that. It looks like maybe with Khan.
That would be interesting.
Well, it would be more interesting if it wasn't so easily callable right now.
Well, is that like basically taking the Wrath of Khan and combining it with Space Seed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. Maybe.
That has the possibility.
But he's pretending to be a Starfleet officer, and that just seems so ripping off of Nolan to me with like Talia being...
But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt here and say it has the possibility the possibility to be something that we're not expecting and be better than the sum of its parts.
And Josh and Ariel saw the first 9 minutes at the Hobbit thing, and they said it was great.
Really?
Yeah. They were both actually really impressed with it.
That gives me hope.
Yeah, me too. But would it be funny if you went there and it's just the first 9 minutes were great, and then... I keep losing my place here. Hold on. This didn't happen.
Did you hear about the showing that they gave to the guy who was dying?
Yes, I did.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
And I respect that. Totally respect that.
Abrams was really neat for doing that. I agree with you. Okay. Oh.
If you don't know about that, look it up.
Sounds like Fanboys, the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Sure, we went and saw that movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't hate it. It was all right.
Boy.
And we enjoyed it, but we got stuck in the front row at an IMAX screen, so we were like,
Oh,
Is that
I
an
remember
IMAX?
that was that movie. I was trying. Just the other day,
but
I was
imagine that
trying to
movie on the
remember that.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
You
stuck
see
in the front
Fanboys
row
on IMAX.
Why was it
because
an IMAX?
Yeah, why would they put it in IMAX?
Was it an IMAX or am I wrong?
I don't remember.
Maybe
But
it wasn't.
it doesn't
Maybe
matter
it's
if you're in the
a big
front
screen.
row.
It
It
feels
doesn't
like
matter
IMAX.
if it's IMAX or not. You're
That's
in the
how I
front row.
remember
so
it.
it's
But
just
then I'm like, that shouldn't be an IMAX. Okay. Superhero Fan 21. We'll answer this briefly. This is a question we get all the time, but I don't think we've ever like officially answered it. So let's do it, Vince. What do you think is
5 fingers in each hand.
What do you think is the most ideal way to reboot Batman? How should it differ from Nolan's? What villains do you think should be included? This is 4 questions. And also, Robin or no Robin, and if so, which one? Very, very briefly.
My boot, Batman.
Okay, I'll start. I used to say I didn't really care that much to see Robin on film. I actually am going to change my tune on that a little bit right now, and here's why. You would immediately make it very, very different from Nolan's films if you immediately just open it right out of the gate. It's Batman and Robin, and not like an origin film for Robin. Just the first minute, the frame, Batman and Robin are together on screen.
That'd be cool.
That's what I'd like to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing an origin film for Robin where it's kind of like the good version of All-Star Batman and Robin.
But let's do it in the background, Vince. Let's open it up with that, and then let's do a little bit more of like a flashback origin or something. But not like because here's the problem: it would have to take a large span of time to not do it like Batman Forever did it. Because Batman Forever, it was, well, we just made him the age he's supposed to be when he's Robin, or actually older than that, and then had his parents die, and then the next week he's Robin. I mean, I'd like to see something much closer to the source material, where he's Bruce Wayne's ward for several years before he becomes Robin. And I think that's hard to do. I think you're also liable to make it look a little bit too much like Batman Begins if you try that all in one film. Where it's like the Robin Begins movie, you know what I mean?
Robin Begins. I'd see Robin Begins.
I would too, but again,
Can't help it.
I think it's going to be very important that they make it different from what Nolan did.
I don't mind. I think they should maybe tie in a couple of supernatural elements. I mean, maybe really just go full tilt the other direction.
Oh, I think so too, yeah.
Maybe keep...
but I think Batman and Robin was supernatural elements. I still say put Robin in it now.
I mean, maybe keep the darker tones that people enjoy about Batman, but
Sure.
Just move towards something that's a little less realistic, maybe a hyper-reality.
Yeah, sure. If you did a hyper-reality, who would be the best villain to start with? Because you probably want to go more in the supernatural direction for villains.
Oh my god.
If you went there.
Mr. Freeze might be cool.
I think so too.
I actually would have
that's-
said Mr. Freeze myself.
I'm going to say Clayface.
Yeah, I was gonna. Clayface is my first instinct, but in fact, I almost went Clayface, and then I thought, well, I'd put him in the sequel because I think maybe you need to work towards something that bizarre for the
What
audience.
if
that's
they
currently
did the? What
watching
if this
Batman.
was the one thing they took from Nolan? Just bear with me. And they did like a character that's sort of minor, like maybe like Calendar Man or something. And then at the end of the film, you found out that it was actually Clayface the whole time, or something like that. Or I mean, I guess they already kind of just did this with Arkham City, where. But it wasn't like, although, can you do Clayface as a mastermind? Maybe you can't do Clayface as a mastermind.
The Calendar Face. And,
okay, I'll do the joke that my wife always does with Clayface. You take Jason Todd, and it turns out he's Clayface, and then he's Clayson Todd Face. Anyway, Frank Miller's Evil Hat 1. If Doom's Vince was an actual comic book supervillain, what universe would he be in DC or Marvel?
I think that's a DC villain.
You think Doom's Vince is more of a DC villain?
Well, he is based on Doomsday.
Kind of, but then he's
extremely loosely.
Really loosely now, yeah.
But I feel like he's closer to a guy who kind of like Dr. Sivana from from Shazam. But I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be some similarities between he and I don't know, traditional type mad scientist characters. But I digress. I think he's DC.
So it's one of these, Vince. We'll do this real quick. Dago Halabar. Who would win if Juggernaut fought Doomsday?
Doomsday, I think.
But nothing can stop the Juggernaut.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
No, it's not. If Spider-Man can beat him,
I think if
Doomsday could probably beat him.
As stupid as it is, I think if Doomsday can kill Superman by beating him to death.
That's not stupid. I actually really like that.
I don't know. I resist it. But if he can kill Superman by beating him to death...
I gotta ask you, though, why do you resist that?
Because I feel like it's a contrivance. There's this thing that can beat Superman to death. Like, suddenly, it just expends, or he just loses all of his power trying to defeat this one thing. I just resist it. I feel like...
well, it's not that he loses all of his power. It's just that it's as strong as he is, and so it can... I mean, it's just force against other force, right? Like,
but I've always seen Superman as being largely invulnerable. I mean...
yeah, except that Doomsday is a, force that's not terrestrial. Like, he was built to be able to do things like that, is the thing. Like...
I mean,
yeah, he starts as a contrivance, but once they give him an actual backstory, I think it makes a lot more sense. I mean, because he can come back from anything.
Zod should be able to kill Superman.
Zod could kill Superman.
He's at least as powerful as Doomsday.
But Zod could kill Superman without kryptonite if they fought long enough.
I've always just thought it was weird. Like, in my head, what happens is it's a never-ending battle. That's more about how to best the other more than it is about killing the other.
Sure, but I like the idea that Superman's not actually that powerful. It's just that there's not much on Earth that could actually kill him. You know what I mean? So you think that he's... What?
I was going to say, just listening to you back and forth on this, I'm bringing it down to a simple physics problem. One immovable object hitting another immovable object, there's going to be terrible destruction just
that's true.
on the face of it. So I can see both sides of what you're saying on this one.
I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying I resist it and I have trouble taking it seriously.
But I see both sides. I can see that.
But I mean, it was a major part of you getting into comics or being in comics, so I understand why it's important to you, and I'm not trying to detract from that.
But it's also unfair to say that that's the only reason I defend it, because Doomsday was a giant plot contrivance. I think they made him work later. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, fair enough.
And you've not read what I've read, is my point. Like, you don't. What I'm saying is like
you don't know what I know.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is that you don't actually know what they did with him later. You know what I mean?
No.
So
I've only read the core book.
Yeah. And what I'm talking about is not even in Death of Superman. It's like 4 or 5 years after that, where they give him an origin. But anyway, that's why I think it kind of works. But no, at the time, I don't think it necessarily did. But what did I know? I was 9. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks a lot. If you're 9, I apologize. Everybody, thanks a lot for watching. That is unfortunately all the questions we have time for today. We'll get to more of them for you next week. This might be the longest multi-topic extravaganza we've ever done, because we're not getting through very many questions. That just means that they're interesting. So thanks as always for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll see you next week. I lost my notes, so I have to scroll all the way down.
Mother.
And now I have to scroll up a little bit.
Stupid notes.
I hate them. They make me angry.
Stinger.
All right, you ready?
Yes. You like that idea, don't you?
I love it.